these are just some thoughts that I had I wanted to throw into a video. And let's start. So, taking health advice from an individual who appears to be a lot less healthy than you can be extremely difficult. So there's certain people out there that I watch on YouTube, different YouTubers, that I have extreme amount of appreciation for and admiration for the things they've done and the way they've helped not only me, but I know many, many other people out there. But they are less than stellar looking examples of health. And yeah, it can be difficult to actually look on the outside and see somebody's health in a lot of different ways. But I mean, so bags under the eyes, dark circles, overweight, those are just a few of the things that could discourage me personally from listening to an individual. And there's a lot of health modalities out there that don't work for everybody. That's the bottom line. I've never been a one-size-fits-all type person. And when people give that kind of advice, it astonishes me. And I just can't agree with it. Especially because some of the people that I look up to who are no longer with us, like, say, Weston A. Price, traveled the world and found that there are healthy people in every culture across the world. And those healthy people generally all ate some type of red meat. So if there's somebody out there that advocates for just vegetarian or plant-based diet only, I just can't. I literally cannot even. There's no way that I could do a plant-based diet, and I've tried. I was not satisfied. I actually tried for about a year to do the vegan, and then there's another separate time, where I tried for about a year to do just a vegetarian. In both of those times, I felt extremely terrible. I could not do it, didn't like it at all. So when I hear these people say, oh, well, all you should do is eat vegetarian, all you should do is eat vegan, all you should do is eat soy. I mean, there's probably not people out there that say that. I hope not. But anyways, I just can't fathom. It doesn't work for everybody. A lot of the people that it does work for are going to be people with DNA and heritage that is more closely related to tropical regions. For those individuals, yeah, that works great. But for me, I have a lot of Northern European ancestry, and it doesn't work. It just doesn't work for me very well. I feel miserable. I've felt disgusting. I just felt hungry all the time when I tried the vegan, when I tried the vegetarian. And there's modifications to all those diets out there, and none of those really worked for me. The ones I tried. I'm sure there's still tons of other diets out there that I haven't tried. But for me, I found a ketogenic diet works really well. And I actually really look up to Dr. Eric Berg and all his information about the ketogenic diet. I found extremely helpful. And there's other people out there making keto videos as well that I really look up to. And whether they're in the health profession or not, there's channels that I watch that just talk about keto stuff. And I like it a whole lot. So just because it works for me doesn't mean it's going to work for you. And it seems like there's just a huge push for a plant-based diet. And people act like, oh, well, it's more ethical or whatever to eat plant life. And jokingly, I've heard the argument, why? Because it moves slower and it's easier to catch. So, but, there's plant life can move in a lot of different ways, like animal life, albeit much, much slower. Like, especially if you watch bean sprouts or something like that, or etc., whatever. But why is there such a big push for a plant-based diet out there? Okay, I'm opening up a whole brand new door to the information on my channel, perhaps. Andreas Kelleker did a speech where he actually translated himself, and he was in some South America or Central American country speaking in Spanish, which that guy I really admire too. He talks about the ketogenic diet, I think. I also heard about him through some of his videos on Miracle Mineral Solution, MMS, and then there's also the Caliker Protocol for parasites, which has helped a lot of people. But anyways, he talks about it. He's like, when he first discovered and looked into natural health, he was originally basically a skeptic for a lot of the things that we were taught in traditional medicine, or organized medicine, if you will, or Rockefeller medicine, whatever you want to call it, allopathic medicine. He was skeptical because he found a lot of the stuff that it just didn't work, and it covered up symptoms. So once you start digging and finding the origins of the organized medicine that we know of today, then what will you find? So maybe you're open to doing that research on your own. I know what I've found. And then Caliker's speech that he talks about once you discover that allopathic medicine doesn't do too much for restorative health, then maybe you'll start to question other things. And he literally goes, maybe you'll start to question the official narrative of the 9/11 story. Maybe you'll reach further back and question the official story of JFK assassination. And he's probably the only person in natural health that I've actually heard open up that door. And so where was I going with this? Okay, so there's a lot of videos out there that talk about patents on aerosol dispersion technology. There's videos out there, and there's open Freedom of Information Act papers where they talk about in the Iraqi war, they used aerosol technology to spray particles on top of the Iraqi soldiers who they were fighting against. And then once they released a certain frequency, those Iraqi soldiers felt like they were on fire. So where am I going with this? How does this relate to the plant-based diet? Well, if your food's not grown indoors inside of a greenhouse, which I'm guessing most of the food that's plant-based is outdoors, taking use of natural sunlight, natural water courses, natural air, then just maybe there's aerosol stuff being sprayed on those plants. Oh, crazy, you say, right? Possibly. So some other things to think about. What's in those things? If there's this actual technology out there that they could spray Iraqi soldiers and make them feel like they're on fire, what else would they be doing? Why else would there be a huge push for a plant-based diet? Maybe I'm just bitter because it didn't work for me, and I wished it would. But it's interesting to look into these things, and I actually bought an avocado the other day, and opening it up, on the inside, there was a huge mass that resembled fungus. It looked like a straight fungus. And I don't know what it was. Maybe it was some naturally occurring fungus that had attacked it. But on the outside, it didn't look damaged at all. On the outside of the avocado skin, it didn't look damaged at all, not one bit. But on the inside, it was a big lump attached to the skin, and it looked like a fungus, and it had like hairs growing off of the inside of this tumor-looking fungus thing on the inside of avocados. And honestly, I don't think I've eaten an avocado since. It creeped me out. It really did. And I love avocados. But I just don't know. Is the push for a plant-based diet a big conspiracy? Oh, did I just say the word conspiracy? Oh, no. Is it a big conspiracy? Do they want us just to consume a massive amount of things that have very questionable things on top of them? I don't know. Maybe I've said too much. Maybe we've delved into this too far. Maybe I'm a crazy person. Well, I have been. I've been there, done that. And maybe you could call me crazy. But I know in a lot of ways I've been on this health journey myself, and I've found what works for me. I really hope you find what works for you. And if anybody has any answers. Let me see if I can actually find that picture and pull it up, because if anybody has any answers as to what this actual thing is in this avocado, I would be more than willing to listen. This is the avocado in question. It just, in this picture, it just appears to be, it looks like a bruise, right? It's not. This is raised. And like I said, on the outside, it's not even raised. And then it's hard to tell, but actually right here, there is a big hair. And there's hairs coming out of it in different areas. Like some parts, it looks like just fuzzy fungal type hairs. But then that hair right there, I mean, there's a bunch of them in the general area here. This hair right here. Look at it. It's like long. It's like weird. If anybody has any information and as to whether this thing has actually existed for a long time, this type of fungus, or if it's a new thing that people have never seen before, let me know. But yeah, overall I'm happy with my ketogenic diet lifestyle. I'll be continuing that. I made some other videos about keto, overcoming objections. There's lots of videos out there about how keto may have its own difficulties, but there's solutions. I've always been a fan of saying look for solutions, not problems. And I would definitely like a solution to better know what's in my avocado, to better know what's going through my skies, to better know what's in my soil. Anyways, guys, stay healthy.